Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated, where today, thrilled to death, I'm talking with actress Aadila Dosani.
Yeah,
Close? Was I close?
you were spot on.
Dosani. I think Dosani.
Dosani. I mean, there's
Dosani.
like, Dosani.
I don't know.
I
It's
like
such a pretty.
Dosani
It's
though.
such a pretty name. I want to get it right.
Thank
It's really it like Mike Wall. Too short. Too short. You can say
you. It
Michael,
does roll
but
off
that's
the
too short.
tongue though. Mike Wall. Like, hey, I'm Mike Wall.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I have to change this name. But it's not a pretty name. You've got a very pretty name.
Well, thank you. But it's so many, lots of syllables, so it
Yeah.
kind of makes it.
Yeah.
It's not user friendly. We'll say that. I guess. Story of my life.
So I want to ask you about how you got into acting, but before that, I'm doing my prep before we talk, and I found out that you were a heck of a rugby player, which was so interesting, and you were playing on the men's team.
Yeah, I did. I sometimes I keep asking myself why I stayed on it because I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't fun. But I went to the University of Toronto in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada,
Yeah.
and their downtown campus is split up into colleges, and so that kind of thing. And so there was no female team, and I loved rugby. It was my outlet, and there were no rules saying chicks can play on the
That's right.
men's team. So I was like, hey guys, I'm here for practice. And a head turn, I had never seen so many heads turn, but like in not the way you want a head to turn.
Right.
It was like, you're not on the right field. And I'm like, I
am. Well, there is no right field if that's the only team.
It's true. Yeah. Well, it was, I don't know. I just don't like people telling me I can't do something. And
good for you.
Yeah, it was a couple grueling years.
I bet. Yeah. What was your position?
Number 2, I was the hook.
Oh.
Little hooker. Yeah, right in the scrum, right in between all those big boys. So that was also
right. Yeah, that's rough in there.
It was rough. Luckily, I mean, I was so protected. So the 2 props, who I gotta say were also my biggest champions. And so I was so lucky because if they weren't, I would have been hooped, man. I would have been like, I wouldn't be here. No, I would be here, but like
Yeah. Well, you got to make friends with those guys. It's like a football player, a quarterback makes friends with his lineman. You got to make friends with your.
You got it. Listen, I went broke buying them lunches. It was a problem, but I was like, thank you, student loans. I guess you came in handy for something.
They didn't even have rugby when I was growing up in West Virginia. It's really just been maybe the last 10, 15 years that rugby has made it to where now it's in the high schools. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Huh. I know we were behind. Did you play in high school?
I did play in high school. I mean, I got to be very candid. It's not like I wasn't good in high school. So I know. And there's another thing. I think it was also like a redemption tour because I had people who I thought were my friends and then realized they were talking behind my back saying how bad I was. And I was like, well, okay, 1, it's not a lie, but 2, I have to redeem myself. And so I was like, I'm just going to make it as hard as possible. I did, thank God. But
so how did you improve from high school to college?
Well, I stopped being afraid of tackling and hitting people. Number 1. I feel like it's kind of important in rugby. That's the game. So imagine me playing in high school. You would have been like, not the right field.
Well, that was a girls' team in high school, though, right?
It was a girls' team in high school. You know what it was? I think the girls on the team, like that was their thing. You know how every team, like you got the basketball girls and the rugby girls and the soccer girls, and it's just like they live for it. And at that time, I loved the game. My friends were on the team. That's why I wanted to play it. And it was a great outlet, but I really, I had other things that I wanted to give attention to. And so I was never fully there. And I think that's probably why I didn't
Well,
really.
that does make a difference.
Yeah.
Did you play any other sports?
I did. I mean, I grew up playing basketball,
Yeah.
which was pretty awesome. I played on quite a few teams. And then like when I came into high school, I did play my first year, and then transitioned more into rugby because I was like, I liked the vibe better, sans
Right.
always being the most improved player, which I was like, listen, at least I'm going somewhere. It's fine.
That's right. That's right. You're going up.
I'm going up. I played soccer. I wasn't very good. I kept being told that I kick like a girl, but then I was like, this is a women's team. Of course I kick like a girl. I'm a girl.
Well, yeah, what does that even mean?
If I showed you how I kicked, you probably, I don't know. I thought I kicked well. I was like,
no, I'm sure your kick is way better than mine. Yeah. Soccer was another one. So soccer came in when I was a freshman in high school. That was the first time we had a soccer team.
What?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, I'm dating myself, but that was the mid 80s. But you would think we'd have had soccer by then.
Yeah, especially because it's like a very like affordable sport too.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Group can kind of play that.
Now it's huge in West Virginia now.
Okay.
It's changed a lot over the 3 decades or so, but yeah, I still remember that because I had friends that said, "Hey, we're going out for soccer," and I'm like, "What?
What's that?" That's interesting. I guess was it just primarily football? Like that's just always been.
You had football, baseball, basketball.
Baseball, basketball. That's right.
Yeah, that was your 3 sports. Now I think there was a girls volleyball. There was probably a tennis team, but that was about it.
That was badminton. I played badminton. I was good.
What is that?
What?
Oh, badminton. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I
have the birdie and then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great game.
Yeah, that was super fun. I was able to maneuver my way around that court and hit the birdie.
So were you like the Olympic level badminton people that like you can't even see the birdie, they're hitting it so fast?
I mean, in my dreams. In reality, I mean that's a different it flew, and I thought it was a feat in itself for me.
Yeah, that's right. How about ping pong? Did you play ping pong?
I played ping pong. I loved ping pong.
I did too.
Ping pong was great.
Yeah. I miss ping pong.
Yeah. Ping pong. Oh, I was on the wrestling team actually. I did.
No, you weren't.
I did wrestle. Yeah. Junior high. So in Canada, we have, I don't know if it's similar in the States, but we have like our elementary school, which is like grade 1 to 6, and then 7 to 9 is junior high school, and then high school is 10 to 12.
Yeah,
so
we've kind of went to up to 5th grade would be elementary, and then we have instead of a junior high, we have a middle school, so it's 6 to 8, and then 9 to 12 would be high school.
The high school. Okay, God, and that's like the freshman, sophomore kind of how it's
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because we don't have that terminology. It's a little more basic. It was like a junior team and a senior team. So
like a junior and senior varsity.
Oh, okay, great, right.
Yeah, we had that. But now was that a girls wrestling team?
It was a well, yeah. I was on the female wrestling team in junior high.
We don't have that here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they should.
They should. It was great. I mean, you really gotta I remember I know like wrestling definitely taught me to think on my feet, because like again referring back to being a scaredy cat and being like, I need to hit someone, you gotta like take someone down. Again, I wasn't very good. My first meet, I got taken down so hard. This girl Sam, I hope she's doing well. She's wonderful. And then
you have to say that. She might get fined.
Say that. It was so bad. I couldn't get up. They had to call the ambulance and I was rolled out on a stretcher. This is
You're lying.
No, I'm not lying.
Seriously?
How embarrassing. Yes, seriously.
That's not ideal.
It's not ideal. And yet I went back. So I don't know.
Well, good for you. You're stubborn.
Very stubborn. very stubborn, which is why that rugby thing happened. But it ended up being pretty rad and pretty cool being able to play with dudes. So
well, and they were a good team, right?
they were great. They were, championship team, like consecutively. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Did you get anything from that? What do you get for winning a championship? Do you get a trophy? Do you get a ring? What do you get?
Yeah, you get a trophy.
Yeah,
We don't
that's
really
good.
get rings up here. I mean, maybe some teams we didn't. So
Yeah, no, we don't. It's usually trophies here too, but
trophies.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think anytime you can play college athletics in any sport, that you're doing something right. You're obviously athletic. You act like you're not, but you obviously are.
When I get ragey is when
I
that
understand.
happens.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
understand. So could you go right now
Yeah.
and play rugby?
I mean, I'd like to say I probably could pick it up, but no.
Well, yeah, I know the endurance and the not being used to being hit again. And
I
that
think
type
that's
of
what it would be. And even throwing the ball, like it took me a while to like really throw a rugby ball correctly, because you got to get the right spin on it depending on like the distance in which you're throwing it and the speed in which you want, or when you're in your lineouts, like, so I feel like that it would be like the technical things. Definitely now.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play baseball, and it would be the same way. You would think you could just go out and throw a ball, but I always struggled. Like I had a tendency just to throw the ball straight into the ground. Is the dumbest thing. But if you release it wrong, I mean.
But that's it, right? And you don't realize it's like the slightest degree.
Yeah.
And then it's either there or you're just
you look silly.
That's fine. Yeah. That too.
Okay.
I learned to take it.
Okay, so we'll circle back, because I'll end up we'll talk about athletics the whole time. Yeah. People will be like, "What are you doing?" So how did you get into entertainment, or what made you want to become an actress?
Oh man, I mean, I feel like I always say that acting is my only marketable skill. So I don't know if that's bad, because that's like, you're not like being very truthful, like, right? You're creating a story. So lying, I'm good at that.
Hey, acting is not easy. That is a difficult job.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it is.
And so that's it. I've always wanted to be. It's actually going back to the athletics thing. So my parents, I've always been involved in athletics and sports, but I was in swimming and skating, and I wasn't good. I could not skate for the life of me. I couldn't swim. I refused to go underwater. And so I feel like my parents got so frustrated because I was the worst kid in every level, being held back. And I'm pretty sure they got tired of like being the parents of the, the not very able girl, skilled girl. I get it. I'd probably be the same way too. And so then they plunked me out of sports. After that I only played dry land sports, and that's all I can do. It's fine. Dance too. I wanted to be a ballerina. I wasn't very good at that either. It was just
dance is tough too.
Dance is tough too. So they plunked me out, and they, instead of going into like the weekend activities that are athletics, they put me into community theater. And that's where I kind of started being like, oh yeah, man, this is my jam. Because I would force my parents to watch talent shows that I would produce at home at the top of the railing. And so I'd be like, you must watch me at all times. You must put a flashlight on me so I have a spotlight, and you must give me a standing ovation. I feel so bad for them. I was so demanding.
That's just good parenting though.
It was great parenting. My parents,
as a parent, that's kind of what you do is you just let the child go and try whatever they want to try. And most of it doesn't work out, but eventually, hopefully they find the thing that, they're good at. And then you kind of go with, that's just good parenting.
And then you go with it. It was great parenting. So totally, like, my parents got me into it. And from there, I was just like, this is what I want to do. I loved it. It was musical theater stuff at first. And then I just carried it into the junior high and high school stuff, which is where my attention went instead of sport stuff.
That makes sense.
And then that was that. Then that was it. I went to Toronto. So again, that was another balance, right? I was in theater school there while playing rugby.
Wow,
So
that's
that
not
again,
easy.
it was not easy. It was interesting though. I think it was, I'm so grateful for it because I feel like that's what gave me the discipline I needed. I wasn't a very disciplined child. You know. Yeah.
Where did you demand that they held a flashlight on you in theater school, or had you moved past that by then?
I mean, I tried. Listen, my ego was knocked down real hard in high school because I was always the understudy, and so there was never a flashlight on me. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine now.
That's fine.
I may or may not still be resentful about it. Maybe I'll get over it later.
I think that's, there's lessons there though. If you're the understudy, it allows you to kind of study, those people that you're, that are the leads. So that can help, but it also helps you deal with, not always getting the role that you want, which in acting is probably a pretty good skill to develop.
Yeah. It's insane. I definitely was able to learn what wearing Teflon means.
Yeah.
And having that shield of armor for sure. And I think that was another great lesson too, because it just made me work my butt off when I went to Toronto again, right? It was like a redemption tour. So I guess thank you for making me the understudy if that wasn't the case.
Well, so what do you remember your first lead in a theater role?
My first lead.
Was that a big deal when you weren't the understudy?
Yeah. It was super massive, right? Because I was like, finally, it's me. It's
kind of a breakthrough.
It was kind of a breakthrough. Yeah, it was pretty freaking rad. It was and it was in those college productions we did. Well, when I was in theater school, we weren't really allowed to do any professional I guess productions or anything like that, because I guess we had to focus all of our attention in, and again, I don't like being told what to do. So it's probably why I didn't last the fourth year. It's fine though. Again, everything works out for me. I got kicked out.
You can always go back.
No. But I would just be so sneaky about it and do all these other college productions. Because and that's where that first lead role happened, and it was pretty divine. It was oh my word, Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh
yeah. Which is really cool. Yeah.
And that's a musical, right?
That's a musical. Yeah. So it was.
You had to sing a little bit.
I had to sing a little bit. I just belted in character. That skill's gone as well. So.
Any desire to ever go back to the theater at some point?
Yes, I would love that. I never thought I'd be in film or TV stuff. I was such a theater snob. I always thought that that was my thing. I loved being in a theater, in an auditorium, and feeling the energy off people. I only came into this when I had to move back west from Toronto.
Right.
Because my partner at the time was there and didn't want to move to Toronto. And that's when I couldn't get a theater job to save my life. I was like, again, I'm being pegged down, man, what is happening? And
oh no,
story of your life. Story of my life. I couldn't even get a general audition. I was like, well, okay. And so I got a buddy of mine actually came to Vancouver and Victoria for theater school, and he was like, well, film and TV is a huge industry. Why don't you think about getting an agent in Calgary and seeing if you like it? And I was like, no, that's stupid. But obviously I did, because
here you are.
Here I am. And I was also so bored. I was like, well, I need to do something.
Well, did you get, when you first started, did you get speaking roles, or were you doing background work? How did that go?
Yeah, I actually, the first booking I ever had was a commercial
Oh, okay.
for Shaw Communications. It was in Calgary. It's like Shaw's kind of like our service provider or television or cable service
Yeah,
provider.
yeah.
Yeah. And so it was a commercial for that where I lied my butt off to get that role. Thank God I didn't have to do what I said I did. Like, because they wanted like skilled trades people or people in the arts. And my dad's a carpenter by trade. So I took one of the boxes he made and I'm like, oh yeah, my dad's a carpenter and I follow in his footsteps. This is what I made. Can you like imagine if I had to do that on the day? I don't know, but I didn't, thank God.
Hey, I love that. That's
Yeah.
That's some solid acting right there.
Acting. Things were just flipping right out. And I was like, oh yeah, just the way you rotate this router and my sanding machine and this varnish. And I was like, what is coming out of my mouth? I have no idea.
Apparently they didn't either.
They didn't
just
either.
Thought, she must know. She seems like she knows what she's doing.
Exactly. Well, here we are. Yeah. And so it was that. And then after that, I was like, this is kind of cool because you do it in one day and then it's done and you forget about it. Whereas theater, that's what was so different. Like 8-week runs versus a day of work.
Yeah. Not bad.
Not bad at all. And so then I luckily when I was in Calgary, the indie scene was so huge there. And so I did get some really cool speaking roles and I didn't have to do background work to kind of get in that way. And then
that's great.
Yeah, it was like, it's always when they say right time, right place. I definitely think my in was at the right time in that community because things were really booming there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's terrific. So I'm gonna name a couple of things that I've seen you in that were I won't say smaller roles, but a little bit smaller roles.
Totally, yeah.
So the one that the first time that Brett and I kind of saw you that we recognized you in something. And it's because we're nerdy. Okay. But you did a Nightwing short where you played Dave Montoya.
Yeah. What? You saw Nightwing?
I did. We did. We're big Nightwing fans.
Oh my word. I love yes. Yeah, I was like, that was a cool role. I wish that had gone somewhere. Just it's the nature of the game, right?
Yeah, we actually were expecting that to go somewhere. It was really well done.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where it was kind of like a conceptual shoot, or you know what I mean? Like one of those concept things, and stuff happened, and the funding kind of got pulled out, and so
well, I know, and it was probably, I'm assuming, was a fairly small budget because those usually are. Yeah, but the acting in it was pretty good.
It was great, right? Yeah, and the dudes who produced it were super awesome, like great indie producers, and they do a lot of cool stuff. But I can't believe you saw Nightwing.
I figured that one would surprise you. So in the comic books, Renee Montoya ends up becoming the Question.
Yeah.
So I'm just bringing that up because they haven't done the Question yet on any of the DC projects. So I'm just saying it's out there. And you've already got experience in the role.
It's true. I loved that role. And there was a lot more footage, I guess, that just wasn't put into that. But I loved her. Like, she's freaking a smart cookie. Yeah. Dark cookie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good role.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. It was so cool. Well, maybe something will come out of it now that we're talking about it.
Well, I was going to say, get ready. That phone's going to probably start ringing now.
I mean, I'm like, so sorry to take this call right now. No.
Yeah. Why didn't we think of her for the Question?
Right. Oh man. Yeah, that's
so
wild.
Let me now this one, this was my wife Emily and I, we watched and saw you in a show called You, Me, Her.
Oh.
You were Zoe.
I was Zoe. Yeah. Just quirky little Zoe.
Yeah, and that was the weirdest show. And it had Amy Poehler's brother was in it.
Yeah.
Greg Poehler, does that sound right? I may not have that right, but it was a pretty good show, and it was on for a couple seasons.
It was, yeah. I love the
Yeah.
concept of it too. I'm surprised it didn't get another season, but I guess like,
We were expecting it to.
yeah, I
Yeah, we were
definitely thought there
expecting it
would
to.
be, because there isn't anything out there like that really.
No, that's why we liked it, because it
Yeah,
was just different. And you know, you're always looking for something a little different.
yeah.
And there you were.
There
So
it
I
is.
know you were in a science fiction show called Colony. You made an appearance
I was
on
in
that.
Colony, a little appearance, yeah.
Yeah, you made an appearance in that.
I love,
Uh,
yes, Sarah Wayne Callies. I love her, so she's
yeah,
so cool. Yeah.
yeah. See, we saw you in a few things.
I can't believe
Those
this.
were smaller roles. I mean, we've seen better things. Like we saw A Million Little Things, which
Yeah.
is a great show. But when it first came out, we watched it because we were Psych fans, you know, and it has the guy
Yeah,
from Psych.
totally. Yeah.
But you were in a couple episodes on there and were terrific.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
like a little smaller role, but it was cool.
Yeah.
That set, those humans on that show are so rad, man. Being able to watch them work, you're just like, whoa, that's a pro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great cast, and it's an ensemble, so they have to juggle a lot of different people on that show.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that one was cool. I wish that one flushed out a little more, but oh well.
I know. That's their loss. They
It
could
is
have
their
asked
loss.
me. I'd have said, you need to give her more.
I concur. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Hey.
So my daughter said to ask you, you know, and I'm relying on her, but she said you have done a couple of like holiday type movies.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little about those, because that's a little out of my wheelhouse. But she said
yeah.
she watches all of them. So she
I
knew.
love that. She knew. That's funny. That's like I grew up watching all the holiday movies, like the Hallmark, Lifetime, whatever movies. So it's funny because like she's probably on the same page as my parents. My parents are like, yeah, this job. You're in a Christmas movie? Okay, let's tell the family. And you're like,
Let's tell everybody.
yeah, and they're great. Yeah, so I've been in a few of those, which are really great. They're like, yeah, they're so fun loving. Listen, like the world needs light TV for 90 minutes.
Oh, agree. Especially this last year.
Especially this, and to live in like a French vanilla fantasy is what I say. Where like everything's gonna be okay.
Now it's really so she's and you may be like this too, but the day after Thanksgiving, she starts watching that's all she watches is Christmas movies until after Christmas.
Yep, I'm the same way. My family's the same way. They're all PVR'd. We have like my sister and mom have the holiday movie calendar. It's a thing. I am that brown girl who grew up watching those movies.
Well, then they were probably really excited that you were in a couple of those.
They're so excited. They were so excited. They like send the family notes about me being in it. And I'm like, Mom, I only have one line in that, please. Like they think I'm a legit actor. Stop. But
you are. Now come on.
No, I know, but you know, but they're great. Like, and the thing is with those, like, they're just, you become a family because we only have 12 days to shoot that thing.
Yeah, they're quick.
They're quick. And so like you're doing like so many pages a day and the turnaround's insane. So, I mean, but I love them. I think they're just great. They're heartwarming. They're some of my favorite things to do because like you get to just pretend everything's okay.
That's right. Days. You know, it's going to end up good at the end.
It's going to end up good.
It's like a relaxation type of, you know, it's just
totally.
Very nice. A good friend of ours does set design for holiday movies. Okay. And so we got a little bit of the background from him and that's what he said. He said the turnaround is so fast.
Yeah. It's insane. It's like you don't even you're like, what? You blink and then you're like, oh shoot, it's like April. But then, you know, you just get muffled in it. It's crazy, but it's cool. And like, it's funny because like I feel like this year is going to be really cool. I just finished one and it's one of the first ones that's centered around a South Asian family.
Oh, what's the name of that one?
Really cool. It's called, I don't even know if I'm allowed, whatever. Cookies and Crumbs. But I feel
a holiday movie right there.
I know. But I maybe it'll change. Who knows, right? Because it's not going to come out till.
Well, that's right. You never know. So that one is that one we should look for next Christmas.
You should look for it. Yeah, 2021. So this coming I'm sure, who knows when the scheduling will be, but like Thanksgiving onwards.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
What network was that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Actually.
We'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
I got to pass that on because that was my orders from my daughter. She's
okay.
like, I'm out.
Yeah, she'll like that one. It's kind of spicy. It's like it was just so cool because like you're like, yes, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you think all of this, I don't want to get too deep into it, but all of the stuff that's been going on in kind of the film and TV industry over the last few years, it's unfortunate, but it's had a really positive impact in that it's really diversified and opened up doors for a lot more people. And that's my opinion, but what is your opinion on that?
Yeah. No, I agree. It totally has. And I think it's kind of set a really lovely tone where people from a diverse background can now just belong in worlds instead of there having to be an explanation as to why someone.
Yes, that's so annoying. I didn't even know that annoyed me until they kind of stopped doing it. And then I was like, that was really annoying. Why were they doing that? Just
and it never makes sense. It's like, why you don't really have to, like, you're creating a separate narrative.
Right.
So what's the point of it? Yeah.
It's just, it's so much better when you don't even have to give an explanation. That's just life. I mean, that's how it is. You know, you don't,
it's like,
you don't explain it in real life. Why would you explain it? You know, it's just the way it is. You just
in this world. Yeah, it's so true. And it's like, you know, people are always like, well, what are you? What's your background? I'm like, I'm Canadian. But you know what I mean? Like where it's like, and I get it. Like I get there's just like a lack of like knowledge there, and there's nothing malicious about these questions, but it's just great that like now there's the industry's embracing that you don't have to like be like they're here because they're this or this or
That's right. Yeah, they're just there. So I've never been to Canada, but I've always wanted to go. So give me what's the place? What's the one city I have to go to?
Ooh, it just really depends. Okay, are you like, do you like the outdoorsy kind of stuff? Like, are you like a hiker, a beacher, a skier, or do you like cool like festivals, concert, the art scene? Are you like LA vibe or New York vibe?
I'm more LA vibe.
Then if you're more LA vibe, then you want to come to Vancouver.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But if you're like a New York vibe, you kind of want to hit up Toronto and Montreal.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought. But I thought I would ask a true Canadian.
This one. But the West Coast in general, like Vancouver and the West, like is just beautiful in that way.
Well, and that's what I've always heard, that it's Canada is terrific for festivals. Tons of outdoor activities and just a beautiful country. So I've always wanted to visit. My wife works for Live Nation, and she travels quite a bit. So she's been to Canada several times.
Right, Toronto,
especially Toronto. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and she loves it.
Cool.
Yeah,
I interned at a magazine called I Weekly. Maybe ask her about this.
Okay.
It used to be a publication in Toronto. I think I don't know if they have any more. They're online now, because I know definitely like traditionally their publications have stopped. But they used to be the biggest sponsor of Live Nation stuff and the Canadian Music Festival.
Well, yes, she probably would know them then.
So she would, and I interned with them for a couple years. So I would run them out of the Gladstone Hotel. I'd be in charge of running the bands and doing the scheduling and all of that with Live Nation.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cool? So maybe, imagine I've met your wife. That'd be so cool.
You might have.
I might have, yeah.
That would, small world.
Small world, too small. But nice.
All right, so we have to talk about Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
So we started watching it because when I was growing up, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Bobbsey Twins, they were pretty big. You know, you read a lot of that stuff if you were into myth. So we started watching Nancy Drew. What I wasn't expecting was the supernatural side of it. Yeah, right?
Yep.
And season one, really enjoyed season one, but season two's been even better. And I think you have a lot to do with that.
Oh,
you and your fellow Bobbsey.
My fellow Bobbsey. He's the cuckoo banana out of this new relationship for sure. But oh man, they have definitely taken a twist on the source material. And
what do you think about that? When they came, like, did you audition for it or did somebody come to you?
No, I auditioned for it. So I auditioned for the role, and I didn't know it was going to be a Bobbsey twin. Like I had no idea, because they never give you any of that information, obviously, until you sign like an NDA.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they want to keep it quiet.
They want to keep it quiet for storyline purposes. So I auditioned right out, I guess, of like when we were in the heat of the pandemic in Canada. So stuff started getting started up here end of July 2020.
Yeah.
And so
were you in person?
Pardon?
Was the audition in person?
No, all online.
Virtual.
Virtual, all Zoom stuff. And so read for it then. And then I did a couple of Zooms with some of our co-executive producers and Larry Tang, who was directing the first episode, and Amanda Rowe. And then after that, I didn't hear for like several weeks. Because like, you don't know. I was like, okay, great. There's another one down the drain. Bye.
Another day wasted.
Another day wasted. And then I would get calls because I coach. I coach some actors. I work out of a studio here as well. And they were like, nice. Hey, we have an audition for this role of Amanda for Nancy Drew. And I was like, oh, you do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Guess that's out the window. And so I was like, I had to tell my girlfriend Morgan.
Understudy again.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, man, I did all this work on myself during the pandemic, whatever. Like, self-improvement, not. and then luckily it happened. I got the call. It went that was the role. It was like at 10 p.m. My agent actually, you guys will get along. He called me and he was like, hey, I've got some news for you. You might want to sit down. I don't know how well you're going to take it. Like setting it up.
I like him already.
Already. And I was like, oh man, he's like, do you have a whiskey? Like, do you have some whiskey at home? You might want to pour yourself a drink. I'm so sorry. You might need to get drunk because you got it. And I was like, oh my word, Corey, for real? Like,
that's awesome.
So, it was cool.
Good job, really Corey.
Cool. Exactly, right? Good job, Corey.
So once you found out it was Bobbsey Twin, did you know anything about that, or did you have to go read up on it?
No, I knew.
All right.
I am a sleuther.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So, and my parents, actually my mom was the most excited because my mom watches Nancy Drew. She's read all the books. She's read all the Hardy Boy books. She's read all the Bobbsey Twin books. And so as soon as I called her and told her, she literally was like, okay, here you go. So in season 1 of this show, you have to know this, this, and this. It's very different from the source material because of this, this, and this. Now, like, and it was insane. I was like getting a lesson on it. She was so stoked, as it was I, because I was like, I loved the Bobbsey Twins.
Yeah.
I loved I love them all. Like
they've been around for like 120 years.
Yeah, man. They're everlasting. They're ethereal.
Now they were younger. They've obviously changed some other stuff, but they changed your age in this as well. And they weren't exactly, they were a little more wholesome, maybe.
They were a little more affluent and wholesome for sure.
Yeah.
Whereas
this changed a little.
Oh, just a tad bit.
Yeah, but it's for the good. I mean, you bring so much to the role, and you fit right in with the I don't know what they're calling the Nancy Drew gang, but whatever that gang is, you fit right in with them.
Yeah, it's great, like the Drew crew.
The Drew crew. There you go. Yeah, you fit right in.
Yeah, it's been so awesome, and then like just speaking to what we were speaking of before, I'm like it's just great that like, we're able to like create now a new narrative and take a turn where traditional fictional characters can be represented in such a
Yeah.
completely different way. And there's a conversation about actual history, fiction versus nonfiction and stuff like that, you know, but
Sure.
like, I feel like when it's in this made up universe, it's kind of cool to put different twists on things, and it doesn't have to stay true to what that original material
Yeah,
is.
I think it's terrific. It keeps
Yeah.
it fresh.
It keeps it so fresh, and there was no explanation as to why we were there. We're just there, and
Yeah.
the writers and showrunners and execs did such a great job just like plopping us in without any of that, that it was like seriously a freaking dream to be bringing like really cool characters,
Yeah.
universal characters that people know in this world to life.
Were you disappointed that your name was Amanda and not, wasn't it like Floozy or something weird
Yeah.
like that was
Yeah, I was
the
like, really?
original one?
Amanda?
Yeah. It was an odd name. I remember it was something with an
It
F
was a
instead
weird,
of an
yeah.
S. Yeah.
Both of the twins had like different, right?
Yeah, they were different.
So Praneet, who plays Gil Bobbsey, because Gilbert was one of the Bobbseys, right? So he kind of
Yeah.
got like a Gil, yeah.
He got a little bit of it.
He got a little bit of it.
So are we going to see you recurring, or is it possible we'll get a spinoff?
I mean, did you hear that universe?
I mean, I'm just
A
saying.
spinoff would be dope, wouldn't it?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't the world ready for the Bobbsey Twins, the TV
Yeah.
show?
Yeah, I mean, that would just be so great. In the show, we're definitely going to be recurring, and we stir things up. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, starting now. So I think episode 7 onwards, you're going to be seeing us kind of
Yeah.
like.
Episode 7 was the new one. Is that the newest one that just came out?
It's coming out next week.
Next week. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen that one yet. 6 months.
You haven't seen that one yet, so you'll see it, and we definitely stir some things up within the Drew crew and within the little town, and yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely cool.
Yeah, it's been great so far. I was hoping that they would bring in the Hardy Boys as well, but I guess the Hardy Boys are on a different network now. They've got their own show going on right now. You never know. They might cross over though.
I mean, that would be cool, like a crossover network thing.
So your mom may know this one, but my dad's favorite books growing up was called the Sugar Creek Gang.
Sugar Creek Gang.
Sugar Creek Gang. Yeah, ask her that, because it was kind of like the Hardy Boys, but there was like 5 of them. But they solved mysteries and that type of thing. So I'm like, hey, when you get that Sugar Creek Gang, let's get that out there. There you go.
I like
We're
that.
going to bring back all the mystery people. Let's get them all in there.
Let's get them all in there. I think that would be great. Like, put them all in the universe. That'd be awesome.
Put them all in there. I mean, Supernatural did a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's things they could do.
Musical episode, maybe? Did they ever do
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was going to bring that up. That's why I asked you earlier if you got to sing. Nancy Drew is like the perfect show for a musical. Yeah.
I think so.
I think
It's
so
so
too.
funny, 'cause we were talking about that the other day with who was it? Was it someone on the show? Like, the crew and I were talking. We were like, you think they're going to do like a musical episode?
They need to do it. The first one I remember seeing was on Buffy. Buffy did that musical, but How I Met Your Mother, and I mean, there have been a ton of them since then. But Nancy Drew, I mean, they could do a musical episode. And it would be great.
They could, and like the cast, like all of the Drew crew, they're like, they can all sing and really well. Yeah,
How do you know that?
It's everyone just kind of busts
just
out
known.
shows.
Oh, okay.
This is like what we do on the off time, which is why I love going to work there. It's like you roll, and then the speaker's up, and there are show tunes coming on, and it's
that's nice.
It's awesome. Yeah, and
that's nice.
Like, I'm like, I can carry a tune, and then I just go quiet. I'm like, I'll just sing the Backstreet Boys while I'll belt out Sondheim. Cool, like, no worries, because they're all incredible. Yeah.
No, I got you. Look, I'll tell you something with the Backstreet Boys. Because when my daughter was growing up, it was NSYNC, Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, nonstop. That stuff played nonstop. So to this day, anytime any of those songs come on, I'm like, oh yeah. And then I got to catch myself like, what are you doing, you old man?
Yeah, right. You're like, what am I not doing?
That's some catchy stuff.
It's true. It is. Spice Girls too, and that the
Spice
band
Girls.
Spice Girls. Yeah.
The 90s were big with the boy and girl bands.
Oh yeah.
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 And they were pretty good.
They were all great. Like even like old school Destiny's Child, TLC, and then you have the like Hanson brothers.
Oh yeah, Hanson brothers.
Remember like
yeah. I think they just released something not too long ago, and they're all
really
completely they're all grown up. it was very odd.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird for me to even see like I don't know, like Jonathan Taylor Thomas as an adult. Because I'm like, no, you're staying Home Improvement in my mind like that forever. Like the Teen Vogue picture on my wall.
Yeah, it's so weird, especially at that age. They grow up so fast and they change so quickly and stuff, but that's how you always remember them, especially those child actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty
so interesting.
That's pretty good. So okay, so what else do we have to look forward to on Nancy Drew? Anything you can hint at? I know you got to be careful. Don't give anything away.
I know. I'm always getting in trouble because I'm saying too much. And then I'm like, oof.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble. I wouldn't do that.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's very difficult as a fan because you want to know, but you also want to be surprised.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult.
So let's see. How can I tread the line? Okay, yes. So talking supernatural elements, there is a very awesome big supernatural element that's going to be through line that is you guys will not be expecting.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's going to be a nice slow burn.
Ooh. I like that. Yeah, that's perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. And then you get to see how the Bobbseys kind of integrate with the Drew crew and get to kind of see what they have to offer the Drew crew.
Yeah, okay.
And it's all unexpected. You may think, because we're from the wrong side of the tracks, we're going to offer something dark, but
might be a surprise in there.
Might be. I mean, we're in the midst of shooting, and when I read an episode, I was like, oh, "What? Amanda has this skill?
Ooh.
I'm dead." Yeah.
Is it rugby?
Okay, so I did bring this up with the showrunners. I'm really hoping they are going to put a tackle in there somewhere. Like I could be the brawn.
Oh, maybe? You totally should. They totally need to let you use your wrestling and rugby skills.
Yeah, my wrestling ability as they're like ambulance on call.
You went back, so you wrestled a little bit.
Yeah, I did go back. Yeah, you're right. So I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah. I'm hoping.
If you're going to play the question, you're going to have to pick it up a little bit.
It's very true. I need to get that stunt training real fast.
That's right. You got to work on that.
I got to work. I've always wanted to be in stunts, so that would be cool.
Oh yeah. That'd be awesome. So do you have a favorite scene that you've got to do on Nancy Drew?
Ooh, let's see. You know what? I do have a few. I love working. So it's funny because the scenes with Gil and I are like, we have some, but sometimes we don't. They're so like, it's such our storyline really focuses on our massive codependency issues.
Right.
With each other. As like, I'm sure all twins have. I'm not a twin, so I shouldn't really speak to it, but I'm assuming.
Yeah, right. I would too.
Right. Yeah. And so I really love when I get to work with him because we've kind of connected in such a great way. He's also from Calgary as well. So when we were both cast, I was like, what are the chances that two little brown kids from a small town in Canada, it's true though, are like cast in this role. And so we've really clicked. So I really love when we get to play with our dynamic together on screen versus it being in the storyline. And then I love filming with the Drew crew. Like they're all so cool. And I don't say this often because we all work on shows. Like it's really hard to come in second season or mid-season.
Yeah, sure it is. Like, their relationships are already established.
They're already established. They're all so tight, and that's why they work so well together. but they were so freaking welcoming and open, like had such big wide open arms and welcomed us into the family.
That's
So
awesome.
I really love,
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
it's just such a testament to them as humans, because in my experience that hasn't happened. It doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, unfortunately.
unfortunately, but I think they're definitely paving like a cool way. So I love working with them. And again, like I said, because you like get to film some really cool stuff and get to get into the dynamic, and then you break out show tunes in the middle of
Yeah,
every
I love
shot.
that. I
It's like
love
my
that.
favorite.
I'm pushing for the
Yeah.
musical.
Me
that's
too. I'm gonna drop that, like
You need
where
to.
producers can hear me
You
just
need
say
to.
it really loud to someone, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that would be, because I think I'm pretty sure some shows on that network have done musical episodes.
Oh, yeah,
So
it's a CW, right?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Every one of them probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
yeah,
CW has they put out really good shows,
yeah,
but they do have a certain type of show that they are known for. So
correct.
I would think that a lot of their shows had musicals in them.
Has musicals, a certain demographic for sure.
Certain
Yeah,
demographic. That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
But that's okay. They're good
It's okay.
shows. It's not like they're just putting out, a bunch of nonsense. They're good shows. That's why we were so pleasantly surprised with Nancy Drew, because we were just expecting, kind of the mystery of the week
Totally.
type of show. And then you add in that supernatural element, which is really well done, because that's a tough one, because it could come across just silly, but they do a really good job with it.
So true. And this season too, like moving forward, they really are starting to deal more with like psychological elements, not just in the supernatural, but like what's real, what's not,
Right.
health stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where are you at mentally in certain phases of your life? And you get to see more of that coming into the season, or coming into the second half of the season. So it's really, really cool. It's just so well written.
Yeah, it is. It's a very well written show, and I'm not surprised that you get along well with your fellow Bobbsey, with Gil, because you can see it. You guys, your chemistry on screen is really strong. And you can see it. Like it's believable. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Which is like so awesome to hear. Thank you, because you always worry
you're
about
welcome.
that, right? But yeah.
Well, that's a tough one, I think. When you don't know somebody, but you're supposed to play siblings, or if you're in a relationship, something like that, it's not always easy to develop that chemistry. So it has to help if you get along off camera.
Totally. And I find like with siblings too, I feel like in a romantic relationship, I don't know, maybe we're just trained more as actors to be able to like really lean into something that helps you. But I feel like dynamics with a brother, like a sibling dynamic, is so different, because you need all those elements.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
But it just depends too, because you usually have you might have a sibling rivalry. There might be some negative feelings that you have to kind of put in there, but then you have the bonds.
There may not be those this season.
Ooh,
did I say that? Oh.
Now we're getting into it.
I know. Another slap on the wrist.
Were you in an episode of Sabrina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
I think that. What did you play? Doctor. A doctor. That was it. That was it.
It was like doctor number, I don't know. I don't think it was a singular number. It was like doctor number 3, or I don't know.
One of the doctors. We watched that one around Halloween, I think, last year.
Yeah.
We kind of binge watched.
Yeah, that was a few years ago. I filmed that. That was cool. Yeah. Again, like it's all those roles, right? You think they're like, no, they're going to be part of it, and then you're like, huh, bye.
Yeah, but that's always good though, because then you're establishing yourself, especially when you get speaking parts. That's really good, and it leads to big stuff like Nancy Drew.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true. It's true, and like it all.
What if they did? All right, I've got your next project. Okay, so we're going to do female rugby player joining the men's professional rugby league. That's your next project. It's going to be heartwarming comedy drama.
I like that.
Yeah. See, I think that's it. I want to play one of the coaches. I'll be the guy that's out there going, you don't belong here.
You don't belong.
This isn't for you. You're
And
going
then
to
I'll
get
be
hurt.
like, yeah, exactly, right? And be like, but here's a sandwich.
I mean, okay, maybe
Okay.
there's a spot for you.
This is how I'll prove myself with food.
Well, that would work with me. Maybe that show
Right.
wouldn't work. That'd be the end of it. It'd last like
That would
one
be a great
episode.
concept. There isn't a movie out there like that.
No, there's no rugby movie out there.
There's no
Not
rugby
that I
movie.
know of.
Not like female, but like around female characters.
They did a baseball show called Pitch a few years ago.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, the
That got
female
canceled,
pitcher.
didn't it?
It did. It was a good show.
Yeah,
It was a good
why?
cast,
I
good
don't know
show.
why.
I don't know. It was before its time, but now people are ready. They're ready for the female rugby player.
That's so true. It's so funny, hey, like what a few years difference makes. Like that was before its time. What? You know?
Yeah, I know. And I don't remember exactly how many years ago, but it wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't at all.
Mm-mm.
No. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been the best. Absolutely the best. I knew it would be. I've been excited for this one for like 3 weeks. Yeah.
No, this has been so awesome. We had so much fun. I feel like we could talk forever. It'd be like
we could. That's why I'm trying to be good. You have to come back. You got to come back. Especially if nothing else, you have to come back after the season so we can talk a little bit, more specific about it. And maybe before the Christmas special.
Yes, I would love that. That would be so great. Yeah,
I'd
and
love to do
when
that.
the NFL season starts. Are you football? Like, do you have
of course.
Team? Who's your team?
So locally, like baseball, I'm a Reds fan because them and Pittsburgh are the closest ball teams to us.
Right.
But for basketball and football, I was always a Lakers and a Raiders fan, which is kind of strange because it's out on the West Coast. That's not anywhere close. Yeah. But I just grew up that way.
Oakland and okay, and LA. Interesting. Because see, I'm like Raptors, obviously.
Of course.
The Jays.
Yes.
But then
the Jays are going to be very good this year.
They totally are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo Bills did so well too, Josh Allen, poor kid.
Oh yeah, the Bills had a terrific season, which was nice to see. Like, when I was younger, they were good all the time, but it's been a while.
It's been a while. They were my first ever tailgate.
Really?
Yeah. Going to the Bills game.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that, and then, but I'm a Tom Brady fan too, so I'm like, he's the GOAT for me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so his coordinator for Tampa Bay was Brian Leftwich, and Brian Leftwich was a quarterback at my alma mater, Marshall. So I was rooting for Tampa Bay for him. But yeah, I mean, you can't beat Tom Brady.
You can't beat Tom Brady.
No.
We're gonna
He'll probably be doing that for when he's 50.
Well, that's it. Next thing we do, like episode we do, we'll talk football.
Oh yeah, it's a done deal. We're talking Christmas special, Nancy Drew, and football.
Yeah.
I'm in.
That season's gonna start. I'm gonna have my picks. I gotta really I'm always a part of so many sports
the pools and pools, Are you playing fantasy football? Are you on a fantasy football?
So I grew up my cousins, and that's how I just grew up watching it. So I'm always I'm in leagues. I'm in fantasy leagues, that's
pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I know. It's amazing that football season managed to get finished without any real problems. And the Super Bowl was really good, but it wasn't as close as everybody thought it was going to be.
No, everyone thought it was going to be no, it wasn't at all. But what do you it's COVID, the injuries, all of it, right?
Yeah, it's the last year. I'm ready. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. We've had enough of 2020. We're moving on.
Yeah.
The only good thing that came out of 2020 was you got to catch up on all your shows.
That's exactly it.
That was it.
Yeah. And catch up on all the eating that you didn't do, which I did. So that's cool too.
I know. I mean, is there anybody that didn't gain weight in 2020? I mean, it was rough.
It was, the very disciplined ones who were like, no, we're just going to get cut.
I mean, they shut down the gyms. You couldn't go to the track to run. You know,
People who are into those home, I have a few friends who got into the home workouts. I can't work out at home.
I can't either. I tried.
Oh, I tried. Instead I was like, I
like,
remember I watched a girlfriend's like live because she's a trainer. And I was like, oh my goodness, so hard, I'm dying. As I'm like drinking my boxed wine and eating my pasta, just commenting on her Instagram live, being like, oh, ow, the burpees.
yeah, there's too many ways to sabotage yourself at home.
Too many ways.
You got to separate that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much. This has been the best.
You.
Before I let you go,
Yes.
anything else that we didn't touch on that we can keep an eye out for you upcoming?
Ooh, I guess besides some of those holiday movies, nothing yet. Kind of nothing yet, but I'll keep you posted if some other cool project pops up. And
the question, that's the one.
The question.
DC
what
people.
If she's a rugby player who turns into the question?
Why not? Why not?
She's undercover.
Combine them. She's undercover. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing.
Yes.
Where can we find you on social media?
So on Instagram, I'm at Aadila Dosani. So just real basic, first name, last name.
I found you on there. You're on there.
And then the same for Twitter, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else. What else is? I guess there's TikTok. I don't know how to do that.
I can't figure this TikTok thing out.
Me neither. I don't understand.
It's too short. It's got some neat things in it. Most people don't use it in a way that I would be interested, but it's got some neat little effects and stuff. But I can't figure it out. I
can't figure it out either. Yeah. So
we're too old.
We are too old. We're not that. I can't. Yeah, I know. It takes me an hour to do an Instagram post because I'm like, what hashtags do I have to use? Okay, Google on my other phone and then put it in there. And I'm like,
you did good though. I was looking at your Instagram. You had the hashtags for Nancy Drew and stuff in there. It was impressive. You did good.
No one knows it took like an hour.
Well, you're not supposed to tell that part.
Oh, right. Okay. We'll just forget we said that.
Forget we said that. We'll just cut that.
Yeah, exactly.
It seemed like they were saying something, but there was nothing there.
But there's nothing.
All right, hold on a second. I'm going to hit pause. Well, how fun was that? I had the best time. She was such a great interview. That was just so much fun. I'm such a fan of her as an actress, but now I'm a fan of her just as a person. Just wonderful. I really enjoyed that, and I hope you did as well. Probably the first time that I have spent 10 minutes on an interview talking about rugby, so that was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. Hopefully, we'll get to have her back on. She was just terrific. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. We don't take you for granted. Really appreciate that you keep coming back. Hope you're finding some good material to listen and to watch. If you haven't done so, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. It's MeisterCon Pod. And you can find us on our website, meistercon.com. Brett has just the best blog on there. It's funny, it's geeky, it's just great. So definitely check that out. He's such a good writer. Appreciate you guys so much, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.